What up, y'all? It's Crew, also known as Araneae Storm, checking in for the Uranian series. I am your Cosmic Rootwork astrologist specializing in Mars activations as well as North Node and South Node consultations. So if you come to this channel, you've come to the right place. You feel me? You can hit me up and follow me on all social media at araneastorm.wix.com/info. You feel me? And everything from the shop, the tapestries, the bottles, the consultations, all that good shit is available in the links below. So from the personal readings to the tapestries, for those of y'all that know I do the tapestries, all of it is available on the website. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because the list is getting long, okay? So first off, as I record this video, Mars just moved into Gemini, but that's not what this video is about. We're going to be talking about Uranus and Taurus today. So to my Uranus and Taurus babies, and even if you don't have Uranus and Taurus, we are currently in the energy of Uranus and Taurus. So let's talk about it. All right. So let's talk about Uranus first, and then we'll actually combine the energy of Taurus in it. So what is Uranus? Okay, so Uranus rules over Aquarius. It's the Aquarian ways, the Aquarian natures, the Aquarian energy. It's electrifying. It shocks you. You feel me? It goes from one thing to another. It zips. Even though it's fixed air, it zips from one thing, you know what I mean, to another. Very much so innovative. It's the energy of innovation. It's the energy of new ideas, technology, transportation, the collective consciousness, humanitarianism. You feel me? This is the upper echelon energy when we talk about Aquarius or Uranian energy here. So those downloads that you receive, kind of like in the Matrix, Uranus, you feel me? The alchemist, the scientist, you know what I mean? Putting those things together to make something new, being able to shift the collective into further frequencies, into higher planes. This is the future, the futuristic nature of Uranus, okay? So when we have that energy meet up with Taurus, what is Taurus? This is fixed Earth. Uranus and Taurus, this is its fall position. Uranus hates Taurus. Taurus hates Uranus, okay? This is not the energy that Taurus is necessarily particularly comfortable, because Taurus, what? Doesn't like change. You know? Taurus moves at a slow pace. It's like a turtle. Moving. Slow. You feel me? And it, honestly, when I think of Uranus and Taurus energy, I think of earthquakes. Ground shaking, ground breaking energy. It moves the ground. It like the thunder pops the floor, and then it just cracks. Cracks. You feel me? So when we talk about these two energies meeting up together, this is the energy that is going to push you forward. So all the people that are here right now, that are watching this video right now because you've come to learn, or if you have this placement in particular, this is, oh, and also too, this is my Uranus and Taurus started the last cycle that we had, which is so interesting because this was around the time of the Great Depression. Was March 28th, 1935 through August 7th, 1941. And this was the time of the Great Depression. What's very interesting, and I'll go into deeper about Uranus and Taurus, but what is very interesting about this time right now is I look back at the Great Depression in the era when the stock market crashed, right? So we had the stock market crash. You've seen a lot of food banks come up, a lot of, you know, I just remember seeing photos when I first found out about the Great Depression, and people were standing outside trying to go to soup kitchens and things like that. What's interesting is, all right, what's really interesting about this time is it's around the same time in the same energy of what's happening now with Uranus and Taurus. It's not necessarily the Great Depression per se, but it's starting to feel like it. A lot of stuff right now happening with the banking system, banks crashing, you know, the money systems falling, new currencies being formed, i.e. Bitcoin and digital currency systems. We also talk about the internet when we talk about Uranus here. So new internet systems, new technology being introduced to the world. And I was talking about this today, of like the fact that in a lot of places around the U.S., I don't know how it is over, you know, if y'all are watching this from a different country, definitely let me know. But in the U.S., there's a lot of people that have to stand outside of the grocery stores to go get food. Okay? literally in long ass lines. And if you compare a photo of what's happening now to the photo of what happened in the Great Depression, they mirror each other. Same shit, different toilet. They mirror each other like a fucking mirror. You feel me? It's twazy. You feel me? It's twazy. It's crazy. So I say that all to say, you definitely want to, not just with the Uranus and Taurus energy itself, but especially when it comes to like the outer planets and the generational planets, you definitely want to study that energy and throughout history. If there's a specific, I'll say this, if there's a specific time in history where like, let me see what was going on to this time, you want to study the outer planets energy, because that energy, then the last time it was in that energy for a long amount of time, 7-year cycle, to when it's in the energy in our current times, you'll start to see in history that those things start to mirror each other. It's very much so a pattern. These things have been planned. These things have been put forth. Don't think that the U.S. doesn't have their own astrologer, okay? Don't think that they don't get guidance of the stars with this world that we live in, because they do, okay? All right? So we have, this is the energy, because Taurus likes to know things, because Taurus likes to be sure of things. Taurus will take its time when digesting information. Taurus will take it because it doesn't want to have to go back. Taurus takes its time. Uranus shocks Taurus. Uranus gives that Taurian energy, that electrifying shock. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're not going to always know with Uranus and Taurus here. Sometimes you don't know how it's going to play out, what things are going to happen, you know what I mean? This is also where we talk about the land, not just money systems, but the land. Taurus rules the land. It rules our value systems. It rules our money systems and more. And also rules our throat chakra. So I'm going to come back to the land, but I want to say with Uranus and Taurus here, you might start to see, which we have started seeing, people speaking up about things they've never spoken up about. Getting downloads, getting channels through higher beings to speak on things that have never been spoke about in this particular lifetime in itself. It creates a need to want to speak. Uranus will come and bring and have you channeling energy to channel into that throat, to speak on things, or speak on injustices, or speak on things that we normally wouldn't speak about. It's not Saturn. It's not Saturnian energy. Okay, Uranus is not Saturnian energy. Even though Aquarius does fit the mold of Saturn and Uranus, this is not Saturnian energy. It's not going to, just go with the status quo or go with the societal norms. It wants to say the things. It wants to speak out. It wants to put things in. It wants to put things forth. It creates that shaky It creates that shaky foundation, so it can be restabilized again when Uranus goes into Gemini. You feel me? And even that's chaotic. You feel me? Whew, baby. Whew. Even that's chaotic. But we'll talk about Uranus and Gemini. If you are following this series, we'll talk about why that can be stable but chaos at the same time as Gemini, of course. So also when we talk about the money system, so we're talking about cash paper system to digital systems. Every time we have a crash in the market, every time something pivotal happens in the world, every time the shit is orchestrated in the world, there's always a change to our money systems. There's always a change to our transportation systems. This is happening now with Uranus and Taurus. There's certain places that we can and cannot, quote unquote, go in this world without having this or without having that. And also too, I want to say Taurus is the first earth. So we talk about Aries being the head, and I consider Taurus to be the body. Taurus to be not only the throat but the rest of the body. Taurus or Aries is the head, Taurus is the throat, but I also consider it to be, because it's Earth, the first body. Cancer being before Leo, forming the pearl of the heart. Okay, and so when you think of this energy of it being the body, this can be a lot of changes to the bodies and the system of the body, the way the body works. With Uranus energy here, We're hearing things about people being chipped. Not to say that's something that you got to do, but people being chipped. You know what I mean? The interrogation of the mind, body, voice, spirit, body, your flesh. You know what I mean? Reactions in your body. I know this can be very Neptunian in a way as well. We'll talk about that as well. But these are changes in the body. These are also your value systems drastically changing. You know, one way you could have went about doing something with Uranus and Taurus here, you can go about something completely different. Completely different. The way we're looking at money is changing. And you know what they say about money in the U.S. You know, anytime the money runs the U.S. Money runs the world in this patriarchal world and land that we live in for now. Okay. But it runs the system. So anytime you have changes to that, which Taurus is going to come and do with Uranus here, Uranus and Taurus working hand in hand, we're going to start to see the shift of powers. All right. And we're seeing the shift of powers right now. This is also too talking about changing up your inner home. So this can be your inner body home. Once again, going through those changes, having, different bodily changes. You also want to see, once again, as we always talk about, where Taurus is in your houses. You know, if you have specific placements, Taurian placements, you want to see where that's coming through too, and what is aspecting where Taurus is in your house, or your houses, if it is in your house, or any houses that you might specifically have. So you could be changing up your home space. You could be changing up your living situation. You could be going to go get land, go buy land, to acquire land. You know, this is also housing as well. So we're going to be changing the way we're taking up space here. A lot more people are going to be questioning the idea of paying rent, because the rent is rising as we speak. So people are going to be questioning that as well. Damn, why should I have to pay all this much money to live? I'm not paying anymore. You're going to see a lot over this Uranus and Taurus transit. You're going to see a lot more people thinking about the way we view land, see money, see all the material, physical things that we need, or we feel like we need in order to move forward. You know, our basic necessities are going to be on the line, and we're going to be talking about those things, and we're going to actively be doing things about these things, especially since we have all this Aquarius energy squaring off to Uranus and Taurus. All right. And also, once again, how we communicate. You know, you want to speak up during this time. You know, you want to share your ideas, share your thoughts. You know, be open to receiving new information from other people. You know, but also not letting or allowing your value system to be constricted to what other people feel and what other people think. This is more so from your voice, your thought. And yeah, I think that's about it for Uranus and Taurus. Once again, y'all want to follow on Patreon, patreon.com/RainyStorm, because I will be posting on the Patreon account. I'm actually creating content right now in the process, I should say, of creating content for the Patreon account. So y'all want to make sure y'all come through. All weekly astrology videos will be on Patreon, as well as more in-depth information about the planets, the birth chart, all that good shit. Definitely go check out that Patreon account. I will have the link below. Much love to everybody, much love to y'all, and we're gonna be moving on to Uranus and Gemini.